Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new 2019 EoFauna Giganotosaurus. This is the third figure from this company. The first two were extinct megafauna. It was a steppe mammoth and a straight tusked elephant, I believe. I don't collect any megafauna figures. So this is the first dinosaur from this company. It is sculpted in 1/35 scale. Let me get out my tape measure. This is actually a pretty nice size figure. He is about 15 inches long from the tip of the tail to the snout. And about 4.5 inches high from the top of the head. EoFauna used the latest scientific studies to sculpt this figure. They do a lot of research when they make their models. If you're on the dinosaur toy forum, they were very good communicating with the members on there. They show the process, how this figure was made. They actually sculpted the skeleton in a computer and then overlaid the muscle to get this model. So a lot of work and love went into this model. Now when you get this model first in, it comes sealed in a bag and comes in a tray to keep the feet straight. Now, I heard this from a few people, and it actually happened to mine. It's very tight inside the tray. So when you remove it, you have a chance of scuffing some paint. And I think you can see at the bottom right here, the toes, when I took mine out, some of the paint on the toes got scuffed. It was very easy to fix. I had a black paint mark. I just touched it up very quickly. So if you get this in, best advice is to cut the tray off from it instead of pulling it out so you don't damage your figure. Now inside the box, figure comes with a little playable collector card. I guess if you start collecting all the figures in the set, you can eventually play. I don't know the rules. And a little information card. Just give me a little paragraph on Giganotosaurus. They sculpted it in a nice walking pose. The color scheme is mainly a chocolate brown with lighter brown highlights to a very naturalistic color. I do like it a lot. A little bit of orange for the skull ridge. As you can see, my model stands very well. Now some people have had issues with stability with this, and EoFauna was kind enough to communicate with members on the Dinosaur Toy Forum a fix for it. It's the hot and cold method. And they also included a printable diagram. I'll leave the link in the description, so if you have a problem keeping your figure standing, this is supposed to help. What you're supposed to do is heat up some water, dip the model in the water to soften up the material, and then grip it by its legs and try to position them on this diagram that they provided. And then once you have them positioned, keep a tight grip, either dip it in cold water or run cold water over it to harden the material, and that should fix the stability issue. I mean, any figure that stands on two legs like this, a lot can happen to it. Temperatures in your house, fluctuation in temperature, why this guy was getting shipped can affect it. Many factors. Just over time, it can lean. I know some people have a lot of problems with the safari feathered T-Rex always falling over. I've had to do that treatment to him a couple times. My Reborn Rex, even though it's on a big dead Triceratops to stand on, falls over all the time, which is very frustrating. But it's an easy fix for this guy if you're having a problem with it. EoFauna was very nice to communicate how to fix it. So I'll leave the link, like I said earlier, in the description if you're having trouble with your figure. So with all the stability stuff out of the way, let's take a closer look at this guy, starting with the head. The head is slightly shrink wrapped. It's not bad. I mean, shrink wrapping on theropod figures is pretty common. You got a nice yellow eye with a little black pupil painted in. You got the orange running along the head ridge. The jaw is articulated. Teeth are all nicely painted on the outside. They gave it that nice wet sheen, give it that wet look. I do like the color in the mouth. I kind of wish they use like maybe a different color for the tongue, maybe a wash to highlight some of the details in the mouth. I think it just looks too red to me. But one cool thing they did that I noticed on this model is on the roof of the jaw, they actually included the nasal passages. You barely see this on any model. The only other model I can think of that has this is the new Papo Quetzalcoatl. If you can pry the jaw open enough, you can see that they actually put the nasal passages in there too. He does have ears. They are sculpted right here just before the seam. Now, with the teeth inside the mouth, he doesn't have any lips. I don't know where you guys feel on the lips. It doesn't really bother me. But the teeth on the inside, just the way they are sculpted, they're very... I'm trying to pick it up on camera. I kind of wish they sculpted them a little bit better on the inside. I mean, it's not a big deal, but the inside of the teeth and the tongue color are like my only two nitpicks with this model. Other than that, everything's fantastic. They sculpted some nice wrinkles in the skin on the neck. You can see the model is lightly textured. They did sculpting scales. They're very light. They're not as like overscaled like some models. Very, like you rub your finger across, you can feel the pebbles of the scales. Those are the hands. And these are the feet. The toe claws aren't sharp. These would have worn down a lot in life with the animal walking around on coarse ground for much of its life. You can see they sculpted the muscle detail very well on this figure. Like I said earlier, they sculpted the skeleton in a computer using all the latest scientific data, overlaid the muscles on this guy. They put a lot of work into him. You can see the skin stretching as he's pushing off on this foot. Here's the underneath of him. A lot of nice wrinkles and textures underneath here. Very nicely sculpted bottom of the feet. I take a lot of photos of my dinosaurs outside, so this guy's going to be pretty fun to do walking along like a riverbed. You know, I'll stamp the feet in the mud. Get a nice angle of him walking around, just patrolling. He does have a cloaca slit. It's very faint. It's right here where my thumbnail is. You can see the slit right here. You got a nice banded pattern that goes all the way down to just about the tip of the tail. Very nice model. I really like this model. You know, this is their first dinosaur from this company, and they did a very good job on it. I ended up picking this guy up from Everything Dinosaur. That's where I order most of my stuff. Rebor, Papo, and Collecte. I order from Everything Dinosaur. So with shipping from them, he came to just about $40. If you're in the U.S., I think Big Bad Toy Store is supposed to be getting him for the same price. I don't think they have him in yet. Dan's Dinosaur is supposed to get him. But I like ordering my stuff from Everything Dinosaur. The customer service is great. They're pretty quick shipping stuff out. It usually takes just over a week for it to come over here to the U.S. So I'll leave a link in the description to Everything Dinosaur so you can order this guy if you're interested in him. So I'm going to take out some other Giganotosaurus models and compare this guy to him. And here are some of my other Giganotosaurus models. I have my collection. This one right here is the Safari LTD Giganotosaurus. This one right here is the old Carnegie collection one. And this big one right here, he's actually on a display base, is the Vitae Giganotosaurus. Now, I like how the EoFauna Giga goes with the Safari. They're basically in the same pose, but EoFauna pulled off the pose without a base, unlike the Safari one. I mean, the base on the Safari one doesn't look that bad, but they're pretty much in the same walking pose. I'm probably going to display these two together, like as a male and female pair out hunting. I mean, I just love the sculpt on the EoFauna. It just looks like it's strolling along, quietly stalking its prey through the trees, looking for Argentinosaurus or whoever was out around that time for it to hunt. And here it is with the old Carnegie collection. Giganotosaurus. You can see this one stands like a tripod. I mean, back in the day, this is, see, he has standing issues. This guy always falls over, so. But he's an older figure. You know, back in the day, pretty much we barely got dinosaur models on 2 legs. It was usually always a tripod stance, or they had a base. So, still, kudos to EoFauna for pulling off that pose so well. And let's take out the Vitae, which is one of my favorite Giganotosauruses. Now this guy can't stand without the base. He actually has 2 pegs that hold him in, and he's made out of a softer material than the EoFauna. He's actually kind of rubbery, and I had him out displayed, and he leans a lot. He should be in this position like this, but over time, because of the material, he leans, comes to a really nice base, and he is a lot bigger than the EoFauna one. This is a great model. It's expensive. You can still find it. I mean, Vitae, they've only come out with a couple of smaller figures near the end of the summer. I haven't heard much what they have planned. I know they had a Suchomimus that they showed off like a year ago, but we're talking about EoFauna, not Vitae. So, in closing, I do really enjoy this figure. I think they did an excellent job on it. This is their first dinosaur from this company, and it is excellent. Just a couple nitpicks with the inside of the teeth and the mouth, but other than that, it's a great model. You're not gonna be disappointed if you get it. You can get a lot of nice poses with it. I just really like that walking stance, and you know, mine's stable. If you need the fix, it's early in the video if you have a problem with yours, but I do highly recommend getting it. Like I said, I got mine from Everything Dinosaur. That's where I get majority of my stuff. So, with this review out of the way, you know, my channel's still young. I've done a few Mattel Jurassic World stuff, some Rebor, P&S, so now I did an EoFauna figure. So, I want to know what you guys would like me to review next. I have an absolute ton of stuff. I have Safari, Batat. I know I'm going to eventually do Transformers on the channel. I'm eventually working my way up to that. I have a ton of Papo collector. So if there's any particular models you'd like to see me review, just let me know in the comment section. I'll let you know if I have the model. Most likely I do. And we'll go from there. So, as always, guys, thanks for checking out the video. Highly recommend this figure. And don't forget to like and subscribe.